Hello, my name is Miriam Mattouk. I conquered the world and was left with nothing. Hello, my name is Miriam Mattouk. I had nothing and I conquered the world. I am the founder and owner of Tafla Smar Jbeil in Batroun. We, as a team, the team consists of myself and mothers in the village and students who work as coordinators and everybody who basically visits Tafla. So we work really hard to provide a safe space with tools for people to feel encouraged to connect with themselves, with their surrounding nature, to exist in the present, to heal and to move forward. We stand behind the potential that of people's, goodness, and we don't lock our doors even when we're closed. As Tafla, our doors don't lock even at night. When all the doors close in the people who visit us, our extended family, sometimes the doors of life close in their face. We hope that they know that there's always a couch in Tafla. Even if we're not there, the door's open. And we've basically done everything we can to make sure while you're there, you feel comfortable enough and strong enough to help yourself. So we won't be there to help you. You can feel the space where you can, So basically that's about Tafla directly. So how can we do wonders with nothing? So the first section, we'll try to work on how you find the lifestyle that suits you as a person, not what seems perfect. The second one is why you should aim to fail. And the third, in this one, we're going to talk about basically the psychology behind the people surrounding you and how they can see whatever ideas you may have as things that might fail and why exactly that's why you should be following them, because I'll explain why. And we'll also talk about why failure is a blessing. And three, we'll target, I'll try to explain how basically once you figured out what suits you, how you can achieve them even if you have nothing. Hitting on the first point. Everybody I know basically, or people around me, either ask me or themselves, who am I, what do I want? And I watch people reach their deathbeds and they're still looking for who they are and what they want from life. And I personally tried everything in search of my place in this world and where I felt I belonged without feeling like anything is missing. I kept looking and looking until I ended up in Rome. This is basically where you are. Constant questions. Who am I? Where do I want? What do I want? The impossible two questions of life. They just create this in your mind. Going and coming and trying, different job here, different passion there, going, and there's always something missing until you reach a point where it's too much for your brain to control and you're even more confused than you can handle. Okay? So going back to Rome, 1 year later, I realized that these questions, who am I and what do I want from life, were going to be very hard for me to answer, and they're going to waste my time, especially after, asking yourself these questions after you hit rock bottom. They don't really help you that much. So these useless questions have a magical way of disappearing when you find yourself sitting on a cold floor of Termini station, homeless for a couple of unforgettable days. Me speedy gonzaling through life, doing everything, working full-time since the age of 16, accomplishing things that are unreal. Even when I talk about them, I feel embarrassed, as if I'm lying to people or to myself. I find myself sitting on the floor, basically as if everything I did with my life was nothing. Yet here I was, afraid, cold, hungry, and armed only with one return ticket to Lebanon and enough money to get me to the airport. Disarmed, highly disarmed by ego, too much ego to even ask help from my own family. I still safely made my way back to Lebanon. Exhausted, drained of energy, drained of money, drained of love, drained of hope, drained of ambition, everything, like empty completely. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure almost each and every single person has either gotten to that point or might, because this is life basically. You get there sometimes. So all my hard work, all my accomplishments, my kick-ass, useless CV, and here I am left with nothing. Who am I? What do I want? Hell no. I mean, where did these two questions get me to? I have nothing, but I will think of something, and let's do this. Let's use the brain. So, who you are and what you want do not come in the form of an apparition. It's not something you go and find in a certain location or from a certain person. Basically, you know, who you are, these are decisions you have to make, and in order to be, and until you've made these decisions, anything you do, no matter how beautiful, you will always feel empty at some point. You'll always feel there's something missing. And you must, to make those decisions, basically, the decision of who you are, you must know how to ask yourselves the right questions and answer yourself with the full truth, your full honest truth. I took refuge after returning from Italy, completely broke, in my family home, where I spent a couple of weeks, and luckily there was some vegetables in the garden, and friends visiting. So I just stopped and took a step back and started looking at my whole life and at how fast I moved and how many times I crashed. And I didn't want to crash anymore. And I was trying to figure out ways on how not to crash anymore, you know? And then I realized I've been asking myself the wrong question this whole time. Basically, think of your day, you know, think of your whole, the last few days of your life. They're not that many if you actually really think about it. And time passes so quickly. I'm sure you feel that as well. You know, how do you want to wake up? Where do you want to wake up? What do you want to hear throughout your day? What time do you feel like starting working? What time do you feel your body can start working? What kind of friends do you enjoy being around? What do you enjoy doing with your time? So basically, after all this chaos, you stop, you think, you stop. What kind of friends do you like? You fill them in. What kind of things do you enjoy doing? Knitting, art, playing video games, shopping, whatever it is, you put it down. Don't feel shy. It's you and yourself. Put all this information down in front of you. No matter how stupid it may seem, it's not. Trust me, like this is really... So you write this all down. You decide who you want to be after you see what you are, basically. You see what you enjoy doing. So if you enjoy doing certain things, how can you use this information to make money out of it and spend your day doing what you love and making money out of it? Because we all know we work most of our living life. So after you're done with this, we move to the second section, which is aim to fail. When I first started Tafla, or I came up with the idea, everybody around me with very good intentions, and they were worried, you know, it's far from the highway, it's far from Beirut, it's not gonna work, blah, blah, blah. But you should never listen to anyone, because nobody can really know what you have in your mind, especially when you've done an exercise like this and you brought out everything that you enjoy doing. So basically, when it's from within, you should trust yourself. Why you shouldn't be afraid to fail? Because when you're starting a business and you have 20,000 liras in your pocket, how the hell are you going to fail? Lose what, 20,000 Lebanese liras? You can't I mean, it's fine, yeah, and go and borrow it from someone. No, it's not that big of a loss. Whereas if you go and you start with a huge loan, then there's a problem, especially if you're not the owner of 5 companies already and you're starting a 6th branch, you know for sure it's going to work. Okay, fine, that's something else. But we're talking about people like me, you're starting from 0 or below 0. This is what we're talking about, this. People who have nothing and how they can do something. How I was able to do something. And so many people I watched around me the last 4 years create heavens from nothing, and they're still doing it. So basically, the first secret is to, as much as possible, zero all your risks, not just with number, even in time. Your time is precious. So 0 risk means easy to go for. And what may seem like a failure, when we first started, some days would be empty and my parents would pop in, or my friends, and they would look at me with so much worry on their face. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm being really, no, it's empty, but it's still, I mean, every step we move has been only forward, because literally when you start from down, it's impossible not to, the only way is up. You know, and it's so important to transcend your fears, transcend through them. Don't let them stop you. Realize the reality of the situation. What do you have to lose? Nothing. What do you have to win? A lifetime of living your whole day exactly the way you wanted. I didn't want to get stuck in traffic. I didn't want to work a job where I couldn't go and grab my paint and throw paint on a canvas the second I felt like it. I wanted to be around nature. I wanted to be around certain types of people. So basically, the characters of people you enjoy being around, these are your clients. These are going to be your guests. And what you enjoy doing, this is what your job is going to be. You just need to find the way how you put it all together. The third point is, how do we find a way to put it all together? You found yourself. You found the way to take action. How do you take action now? So you passed that. So, الحاجة أم الاختراع. This is basically a saying. I don't know if I said it properly, but it translates to if you are in need of whatever financial resources or friendship or whatever, you have this really weird way of finding, inventing or creating solutions to it. It's a saying in Arabic for those of you who don't. So basically, don't be shy to use what you have. So many people come, I'll be sitting in Tafla and they sit in front of me and they look at me, you're so lucky or whatever. And they're sitting in front of me and they're like, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. I'm like, why don't you? They're like, I have nothing to start with. And they're sitting in front of me holding a cell phone. They got to Tafla with their car, driving their car. They're left from their own home. They have the shelter over their heads before reaching to Tafla. In that shelter, they have Wi-Fi. Do you know what Wi-Fi does? I managed a hotel for 2 years, a 60-bedroom hotel, and I'm a psychoanalyst. Google, man. You Google everything. Google gives you all your answers. You can be an astronaut if you just ask Google. Hala, not the way girls do. And if I ask Google, hello Google, today is Wednesday. Can you help me with the front office? Because, not like that, but it also works. It worked for me. So, don't be blind, really. Don't be blind to what you have. It's the biggest secret, especially if it seems like you have nothing. Open your eyes. You have everything you need. You just need to see it. How to minimize effort, because time is precious. So basically, I need to use examples here. It's hard to get the point. I'm going to use an example. So somebody once approached me and she wanted to start a business printing certain things, images on t-shirts and to sell the t-shirts. She's a student, she's a graphic design student, and she has a job. So she wanted to start this business by renting a space, and that's how she started to talk. She wanted to rent the space and open the page and do the website and do all of that, but she had no money. And and all of these things, they cost money. So she was going to need to get a loan. I'm like, no, wait, go back, go way back. Don't go so into it. you're speaking in the language of somebody who already owns a business and is opening a second one. You are not speaking in the language of somebody who is starting new. You start soft, especially if you have a job and you cannot afford to quit your job to focus on starting whatever dream you want to start. There's no way you don't have enough time to work on that. So you finish work, you go home, you have 2 hours a day that is for this job. 2 hours you do designs, you do t-shirt designs, then you put them on Insta, which is free. If you put them on Insta and people are ordering and you have a client base, after a while, if you feel it's giving you enough money to at least pay the rent, then you move to that next level. But if you immediately go with full, it's important to be confident, but not stupidly confident. Don't put yourself in a place where you'll have pressure to deal with things that are so shallow, you don't even have time to grow your own actual business. So you're worrying about rent instead of worrying about creating amazing t-shirt designs that could get you, actually these are the things that will get you somewhere, not the way that the store looks, you know, or that the location. It can be online. So basically minimize cost, minimize in everything you do. Start with zero risk so that failure is impossible. And take full responsibility. So for example, you'll be dealing with a lot of people when you work. With me, it was tough. Like so many people would make certain, might behave in wrong ways. If you blame them, even if they're wrong, you've removed full control from your hands. You've removed full responsibility off of your hands, which means you've put yourself in a position where you have no right to even look for a solution. Whereas if you take this full responsibility, let's say you're dealing with someone, they're not doing the job right, if you put it on you, within you and yourself, not verbally, if you put it on you, if you have this mentality, you will find a solution, no matter what situation it is. Either, for example, you'll realize that you have a problem choosing the right people to work with, or you have a problem communicating what you want properly to that person, or something else. So this way of thinking, you're able to find a solution and keep moving. You don't stop and wait and wait and wait. And nobody is going to push you more. When it's your own project, you're the one who should be, you know. So, and finally, you're also very contagious. If you feel failure is important, and you have to go through it, and you will go through it, and you have gone through it, and you know, when it happens, it can push you down, it can drag you, it can take over the shape of your atoms, you know, and make them look like very sad or whatever. And it will affect your work if you don't handle it properly. So it's very important to have a balanced mind, body, and soul. Take care of your body, stay healthy, so you're able to have the energy to deal with all these things that you're going to have to face. Never forget that. You're going to have to work so hard. Don't forget to take care of your body, even if 10 minutes a day or whatever. So, yeah. Basically, open your eyes as much and as wide as you can. Find what you already have, be it friends, family, a car, knowledge that you've gained, or anything, and figure out how you can put that to get to the life that you want. If you need help with every case, I would love to sit and brainstorm over anything. You're most welcome to approach me. And with the little knowledge that I have, of course, but if you'd like, I can share it. I'm willing to share it all. So basically, once you've worked on what you have and you've excelled that, and it's going well, and the boat is on its way, only then you should feel, okay, then I can expand. So if you want to invest in a website or in something that will cost you money, then go for it. So once you found yourself and a way in which you will accomplish everything that suits you, life becomes even more chaotic. Your mind just goes even worse. You won't believe it. It's crazy. It becomes even worse. But the difference is that you become so much happier. You enjoy it so much, man. You wake up feeling like, yeah, I want to do this. It's fun, you know? So the chaos, just for you to know, it never goes. It becomes worse. The panic mode, like when we first started, if we would have breakfast the next day, I would worry, like, what if I didn't wake up and the guests wake up and I'm not, you know, there's nothing, you know, it's hard to even sleep at first when you're not used to it. I would stay awake all night just so I wouldn't miss the 8 a.m. breakfast. But eventually, I was happy, you know. And here I might have been sleeping, but it was terrible. Here I'd rather stay awake a full month. I'm happy doing it, you know. And that's basically the difference. So you tend to work a lot more when you get here. So be careful about that. But it's a pleasure. It's a much more pleasurable than this. Thank you so much.